Hi, thank you for joining me for this eyeshadow illumination update. In this project, I go through my eyeshadows, getting to know them while trying to spot those eyeshadows I can totally do without, especially with the duplicated shades, which I have a lot in my collection. I assess them side by side to identify the less favored one, so I can let it go, either by decluttering it or using it up. Well, because I'm running out of duplicated shades within my singles, while those are still my priority, I started including other duplicated shades among my palettes, and I've been feeling a little bit stuck because I quickly realized even if I don't like a particular shade in a palette, I can't necessarily let it go without departing it from the palette. On that note, I am working on to depart two of my bigger palettes, and I think that will be it because of the rest of the palettes, I'd rather have them untouched, even if that means I have to keep some shadows that did not perform very well. Also, I am trying to encourage myself to go on a eyeshadow no-buy for a couple years, and that will change how I eliminate my eyeshadows. So that's a quick update, and with that being said, in today's video, I want to mainly focus on picking up some eyeshadows to roll into stage 2 for my PAN THOSE eyeshadow bank. These are the 8 groups of eyeshadow I went through, although this is not every single eyeshadow here because some of the eyeshadows are in the palette. I'll show them as I go through them. Let's get into this. We're gonna start with the dark bronze that was left undetermined from the last update. So I gathered a total of 8 dark bronze that are really close to each other, that they're dark enough to still be a brown instead of looking like a black at a glance. So these are all the 8 shadows swatched. I paired them in groups where I feel like they're most similar. Out of these 8, the one I like the least is this one from The Balm. That is the closest dupe to the dark brown from Revlon. They both have a cooler undertone and lean a little bit purple. The one from The Balm is more purplish, and it was really patchy, difficult to work with. I only used it once, and I really do not care to give it a second go. This one will be decluttered. The one from Revlon, I have used it a lot in the past. It's not the greatest, but it's very reliable. Plus, this will be one of my fewer cool tone browns, so I'll keep it. And moving on to the next 2 closest groups. This one from the Balm Meet Matte palette, and this one is from Stila. The one from The Balm I liked better. The pigment was very beautiful. It was easy to manipulate and it built it up pretty well. I will be keeping this one. On the other hand, the one from Stila, it was totally outperformed by the one from The Balm, but it was not necessarily bad. So the one from Stila will be rolled into stage 2. This one from Sephora, this one was my favorite one out of them all. And the color is also kind of in between of the other 7 browns. It is just so creamy and workable. This one is definitely one of the top tiers. The last 3 from Sonia Kashuk, Natasha Denona, and Urban Decay. I'm keeping all 3 of them. This one from Sonia Kashuk is in my project pan. So this is already a candidate to eliminate. And this one from Natasha Denona is very creamy and is also one of my newbies, so there's no doubt I'm keeping that one. But this one from Urban Decay had me in question. I guess it wowed me with the pigment, and I was able to blend it effortlessly. Because I was going for an extra intense look that day, as I kept on building it, it got a little bit patchy at the end, where I couldn't really fix it by dabbing over the patchy spot. So I thought it wasn't good. But considering I didn't use a primer, nor that I prepared my lids, my conclusion is I think it's worth keeping. Plus, it is in a palette that I'd rather keep as a whole. So for these dark browns, 2 of them I'm going to use them up. 1 of them is a declutter. Well, since I have this palette here, let's go to the silvers. This one is from Urban Decay, and this one is Too Faced, and Sephora, Urban Decay, Gunmetal. So I guess this one from Too Faced, this one is called Teen Soldier. This one is a lighter one, so technically this is not really comparable. And also, I really like this shade. Either way, I'm keeping this one. On the same note, I'm obviously keeping this one from Urban Decay, despite that is actually my least favorite one. So this is out of the picture, not in the elimination, but it's a consideration that I have this color that is really close to the one from Sephora and the one from Urban Decay Naked palette. I love this kind of color. The silver is one of my favorite colors to wear on my eye. I think I'm going to roll this one to stage 2. I'm going to try to pan this one. And the reason is, it's very similar to the other 2. Also, I feel like this color is in between of these 2 shades, once this is gone, I think I have a good variety of silver. I have my highly intense metallic, and in between that smoky gunmetal color with a little more silver, as well as the gunmetal color with less shimmer. That's a pretty good range. Moving on to the matte creams. The way this group will be evaluated would be influenced by the fact that I'm going to be on eyeshadow no buy. So I won't be decluttering any, but I will be moving these two to stage 2. One from Sephora, one from Urban Decay. I think this will be the last 2 creams I have in my collection, and I'm pretty happy with that. We're gonna move on to the Coral Peachy Pinks. Actually, I'm also gonna include the, what is this, like the cool tone pinks. Perfect. Let's go through the kind of peachy pinks first. I have this for, oh, I think I have another one. Yeah, this one too. This one's from Too Faced. Too Faced Honeymoon. This one from Urban Decay. This is from the Wise 4 palette. We're gonna go with the NARS one next. Too Faced and Too Faced Natural. This is the blush color from the back palette. Okay, that's very different and it's super intense. The base shade is kind of like NARS, but more intensified. I'm gonna take that one out. I just wanted to have that as a reference in terms of what kind of shades do I have. I can let one of this go. That is between the NARS, the Too Faced Boxes and Bows. And this one is Honeymoon. You know what? I think I'm gonna roll this one to stage 2 where I'm gonna pan it. As soon as I have this palette depotted, this one is gonna go to stage 2. This one, yeah, this one I'm keeping. And NARS blush is not going anywhere. I do enjoy that one. And this one can stay too. And that is that for this group. Now we're moving on to the other pinks, which is this one from Sephora, this one from Lancome, this one from Urban Decay, as well as this one called Bunny Nose. So this is Sephora, this one is Bunny Nose, and this one is from Lancome, and the last one is from Urban Decay. Oh, cool. Okay, this one I have tried it. It was really boring for me, and I cannot care for it more. I'm gonna be decluttering this, although I won't be throwing it out right away. I think I will try to use it to mix it with my other eyeshadows when I try to frank in some eyeshadows myself. So this one is gone. And between the other 3, I know I love this one from Lancome. This one is really not going anywhere. So I'm keeping that one. And knowing that I'm keeping that one, this one from Urban Decay, the Green Stephanie palette, is really similar to this. But I can't really depot it out of this palette. Not that I haven't thought about it. I actually tried to depot it. The package is really well done. This is a really well done packaging wise for a palette. Like this edge here are almost airtight. It seemed very difficult to do. So that was not really a route I would want to risk going while this was working in my head and thinking about for the next group, which is the Midnight Blues. Let me give you a swatch. This one's from Sephora, this one's from Urban Decay, and this one's from L'Oreal. The one from Sephora, I went back and forth thinking whether or not to keep it or declutter it. At this moment, I think I'm gonna keep it. This one has less sheen, right? I'm gonna keep this one. And between these 2, they're really similar. As well as the black that is also supposed to be in this update. And for the black, because I'm not even bothered to swatch it, it's just matte black. Having this all together and I'm thinking about it, do you feel where I'm going with this? There's just so many shades in this palette that has repeats. Right now we are looking at the pink one, the navy blue, the black. But I know I probably also have repeat for this one, this one, this one, this one, yes. This one, yes. So there's a lot of repeats. Like I know for sure I have something like this. This is just a creamy white shade. I 100% have something like that. Let's have a closer look. Let's check out this one from Sephora. This one called Bath Water. I have 2 dupes of this one. This is Bath Water. This one is from Sephora called Right Carpet Arrival. And also this one from Revlon. Yeah, I think these 2 are pretty close in terms of color payoff and the sheen. And then Skip. This one, according to my swatch card, is a close dupe to Virgin. Let's have a look. So that's Skip and Virgin. Well, I can tell a difference, but not a valid difference. It's just tricking my eye. This one is called Steady. I thought this one was quite similar to this one from Too Faced. Okay, they're not the same. This one has a lot more shimmer, and this one is just a muted peachy nude. I don't care for it. So what I'm going with this is, this palette is housing so many shadows that has a dupe with. The only shadow that I don't really have like a close dupe with is this shade called Punk, and this one called Cirrus. Especially this one called Cirrus is a very cool toned, almost have a little bit green and blue in it. Is very special shade. What I'm saying is, I think I'm gonna pan this palette as a whole. Yeah, I'm gonna move this whole palette to stage 2 to pan, and that takes care of the blue. I'm gonna keep both of the blue. I'm also gonna keep the rest of the pinks here. For the black, I'm gonna have another look. Here they are. These are the 2 palettes that I'm gonna depot. They're gonna become single very soon. In total, I have 5 matte black. Just the pure matte black, not even considering the one that has a little bit shimmer, like this one. This one is kind of like a satin black, but it's pretty much just black, right? But without considering those, I have 5. Have you ever counted how many matte blacks do you have in your collection? If you have, could you leave me a comment down below? Just let me know the number of black eyeshadows you have. I think it will be really interesting to know. Ideally, I would only want 1, maybe 2. This is actually the blackest black in my collection. I'm gonna give it a go to pan this one. It's very intimidating, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna let this one from Sony Kashi go because I'm just over it. 1 out of these 3 I will use to mix with other shadows when I franken shadows myself. It's still quite repetitive. I know I'm stretching it, but that's okay for now. Baby steps is better than no steps. Yeah, so that is it for the blacks. You know, when I look at this palette, because I have been wanting to pan a palette, but I was debating between these 2. Both of this palette have shades that I have multiple repeats with. So I was really torn between these 2. And I think I'm happy with going with this one, because although this one looks more versatile, like I can get more looks out of it because of this 3 purple color. But it also does not really excite me the way the Urban Decay Naked does. There's really not much going on other than this 3 purple color for this palette. These 3 shades are kind of the same, like serves the same purpose. They have 2 transition shades and couple cream colors. And because of that, I actually feel like this palette is quite limited. Yeah, we're moving this one to stage 2, panning this whole palette. Next group is the Copper Bronze. I have this highlighter from Estee Lauder and this one from Natasha Denona. Let me give you a swatch. Estee Lauder and Natasha Denona. With my naked eye, they look very similar, like 95% spot on, but on the refiner, looks like the one from Estee Lauder is more copper. I doubt if they're gonna make any difference when I put them on my eye. Anywho, I'm gonna put this one from Natasha Denona to stage 2. I'm gonna pan this. The last group, also my absolute favorite shades to wear, the Moussey Greens. This one from L'Oreal and then this one from Essence. Can you look at that? Wow, I love them all. I'm not gonna do anything with this group. I guess I'm just showing you as a reference. These 2 are duplicates and they both pass. I'm keeping both of them. These 2 from Revlon and Pat McGrath. Obviously, I'm keeping the one from Pat McGrath. And this one from Revlon was my favorite eyeshadow in my collection, I guess before the Pat McGrath arrived. So I thought I was not gonna have this go anywhere, but seeing how similar they are, I don't see why I need both of them. So I'm gonna move this one to stage 2. I'm gonna hit pan on this. And then the last 2 here, oh, this was quite difficult because although the undertone is the same, the finish is very different. This one has a lot of chunky glitters, and this one more like matte with a little bit shimmer. I think if I cover this one from Revlon with this one being gone, I guess the real dupe here is actually between these 2 and this 2, which is the Balm and Revlon. So what if I cover this 2? That'd be happy? No. Okay, I figured it out. I do want this one in my collection. I do want this one in my collection. I'd also want this one from Pat McGrath in my collection. I'm rolling this one from the Balm to stage 2. I'm gonna try to pan it. Yeah, and I'm done with the Moussey Green. I'm happy with keeping all of them. Alright, that's it. Let's see. I have 3 shadows to declutter, 7 shadows, and a palette to pan. I think that's plenty of eyeshadow to be banked into my stage 2. Seems like I could take a break from this project. But before that, I think I'm gonna have one more update because I'm going to depot these two palettes. And I can already see just between these two palettes, there's a lot of colors that are similar. So I'm gonna power through and add more dupes to eliminate before I take a break from this project. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to see you again. Bye-bye.